Good morning. This is Housing Development, your go-to source for housing, construction, mortgage finance information in Nigeria and beyond. I am Fleur Ani, your housing diva. Today on the program, on Voices on the Streets, Nigerians outline the major challenges they face when searching to buy a house, plus a report on housing finance as a cornerstone for affordable housing development in the country. This and more will be coming up on the program today, right after the trending news in the sector.
Nigeria's real estate sector has enjoyed a maximum of 3.85% growth in the second quarter of 2021, figures indicating its highest growth in 6 years. This, according to analysis, is due to the full reopening of the economy and increased investment interest. The 3.85% growth from data analysis is the sector's highest second quarter growth since the 4.95% growth in Q2 2014. Lafarge Africa, the sub-Saharan Africa's leading building solutions company, has disclosed that as part of their corporate social responsibility, CSR, they have 1.2 billion naira investment in community development initiatives and COVID-19 support in 2020, which benefited people within its host communities. This being stated in Lafarge 2020 Sustainability Report presented to investors and the public at the Nigeria Stock Exchange recently showed that a total of 250,000 citizens benefited from its CSR activities in 2020, which has doubled those ever impacted by similar activities in 2019. With the persistent issues of housing deficit crisis in the country, experts and professionals in the housing development sector have called for an all-inclusive engagement in confronting this social crisis. The MD and CEO of Family Homes Funds, FHF, Femi Adewale, who emphasized during an interview, called on all in the public and private sectors to work with the mindset that housing is an issue of gross national emergency. While enumerating on the efforts so far, the FHF MD disclosed that with the support of key stakeholders like the Federal Ministry of Finance and the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, FHF have committed to the development of about 30,000 homes, with 5,408 of them completed across 8 states and 9,148 under construction, and another 13,543 awaiting takeoff before the fourth quarter of this year. Also adding that through this project, about 64,000 direct and indirect jobs have been created. Mr. Femi Adewale expressed his satisfaction on the recently signed historic 10 billion naira sukuk issuance funds, stating that the landmark transaction is the first ever certified corporate sukuk issued in Nigeria. The Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, REDAN Southeast Zone, is set to host technocrats, professionals, stakeholders, and individuals genuinely interested in housing and real estate development in their biggest housing summit, with exhibitions holding on Thursday, 30th September 2021 from 9 a.m. The summit, which is tagged Akulonu 2021, is themed affordable housing in the current economic circumstances. It intends to bring various off-takers and stakeholders in the industry to actualize their various dreams and expectations to buy into the available activities and ideals of REDAN, government and key players on opportunities of training, advocacy, database, finance, innovative building materials for effective value, affordable housing schemes, and so on. Southeast REDAN is a fast upcoming development hungry hub of REDAN with the intent on meeting the housing needs of that region.
Kabir Ganu here, CEO Benson Hammers Affordable. Keep watching Housing Development Program.
For more housing, construction, and finance news, do well to visit www.africanhousingnews.com. Coming up right after the break, major stakeholders in the housing sector call for adequate housing finance to boost the development of low-cost housing.
Finance is an essential requirement for housing development and has been variously adjudged to be the lifeline in real estate development. The availability of adequate housing finance is the cornerstone of any effective and sustainable shelter project. The inadequate quality and quantity of housing in the developing world, and particularly in Nigeria, is largely due to poor and ineffective access to finance. Town planner David Gava stresses the importance of finance, as he says finance is important for housing development even when lands are readily available.
Housing has three main ingredients. One is land, two is legal instruments, and three, and very important, finance. You can't build a house without land. If you have a land and you have all the title documents ready, you must have money.
Some problems confronting accessibility to housing finance, particularly in Nigeria, have revealed similar outcomes that revolve around income wage levels and lending policies of formal financial institutions. According to Bashir Oshodi, the CEO of Trust Bank Arthur, he stated that enough convenient source of cash flow into the real estate sector will help boost the development of affordable housing.
They need cash flow to be able to do a lot of their projects. And what you have in the conventional banks right now does not quite support that kind of arrangement. So what that means is that they need a more convenient source of cash flow. And on the other hand, they also need to be able to create demand, conveniently. What happens in the conventional financial institution is that the cash that is available for housing finance is too little. And so in the last 40 years, financial institutions have given out barely 13% of their total, assets, in construction, including housing, and less than 1% for home finance or mortgages. That's tiny. So it means that we can't go. And of course, housing or mortgages as a percent of GDP is less than 1%. That's about the lowest in the world. So what that means is that there is no adequate supply. On the other hand, where there's supply, it may not be affordable to the income segment we have in the country.
The significance of housing finance cannot be overemphasized, as it is the wish and efforts of every civilized government to see that most of our citizens, if not all, have access to housing finance and are adequately housed. Andrew Chimponda, the CEO of Shelter Afrique, Kenya, emphasized the need for financiers to support local developers in their quest to develop low-cost housing.
For 6,000 housing units, at least you will benefit at least 24,000 people. In terms of employment, you will find that at least 20,000 people also get employment. So this is, I think, a good indication that financiers must support local developers so that they can realize the dream of developing low-cost houses. We have to play a role in influencing them to also accept development profits through volume, so that the house that's built is affordable. The house that's built will be taken up, because the biggest challenge we have in Africa is that of affordability.
Housing has been universally recognized as one of the most essential necessities of human life and is a major economic asset in every nation. Adequate housing provides the foundation for stable communities and social inclusion. The importance of the housing sector must be recognized and its potential to contribute to long-term economic development. Positive steps should be taken to address present weaknesses and encourage the development of a more stable and vibrant housing sector.
The importance of housing finance cannot be overemphasized, as it is the cornerstone for an effective and adequate housing development. You're still watching Housing Development. Up next is Royal Ceramics Showroom tour by Housing Development crew. Let's have a look.
Royal's brand have various brands of tiles ranging from 60 by 120. These are our marbles. They are engineered marbles. We have the Polus marble 60 by 120. You can see the grains and the quartz. We have the antique beige, same 60 by 120. We have the silver white. We have the birop. We have the creamer marfil, and we have the metallic marble and the anthracite black. These are our roofing tiles. They are ceramic roofing tiles. And this is the frame. It's used for metal roof trusses. You can actually use the wooden trusses, but it has to be well fixed on it so that to be, because it's lightweight, but it also protects from fire. It's a fire resistance, and it has various things. Your house, it takes away the hot air.
Okay, so it kind of cools in your house.
Cools in the house. It cools in the house. And we have also started producing and manufacturing the roofing trusses also, so that it can be easy and cheaper for our clients also. We have the light ivory. I also have the 30 by 60 amaranth. So this is where you can place your jacuzzi and have a warm bath.
That's interesting. How about this section?
This section is equally the bathroom section, where we have the black and white style kind of tiles. But these are marble. We try to use them so that people can also have a good look of how the wall marble can also be used, because our wall marbles also come in 30 by 60 grade. So this section is the wall marble section for the wall. So this is a black and white with a check method of tiling, because we are giving you various style concepts of wall tiling for your bathroom concept.
Okay, how about the kitchen concept? I know if you can show us the bedroom, you also have a very unique kitchen concept.
The kitchen is the top priority for every woman, and that is why Royal Ceramics want to give it a top notch for every woman to have a feel of their kitchen. Just like I told you, this is our marble top finish, and this is called the creamer marfil. This is a zinc glossy. We try to make it so that when you come to this kitchen,
the feel is nice.
You will not be in a heat. It will be appealing to the eye.
And this one, water doesn't spoil it. It's water resistant.
It's water resistant. It's fire resistant. There's nothing, and it is a full time. We have guarantee. It will not spoil.
And all of these tiles are manufactured here in Nigeria.
Yeah, 100% are locally manufactured here in Nigeria, even at our backyard there, at Jakarta, Kogi State to be precise.
Can the average Nigerian afford these tiles?
They are very affordable. We all know that the economy is not really smiling at anyone, but with a little money, more than half of the what you can use in getting the natural marble is 3/4 of it. Why you divide it, that's what you get. Very affordable.
That's lovely.
The good thing that if you are budgeting, let's say 100,000 or 100 million for your marble floor or your marble staircase, with Royal Ceramics, you can have 30%. That's what you use. The rest of the 70%, you save it as change.
All right, thank you so very much, Architect Amaka, for taking us around the tour to feel the Royal Ceramics showroom. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Flora, for coming.
Thank you. Welcome back. What are the major factors to consider when searching to buy a house? Location, price, proximity to your place of work or business? Well, let's find out what Nigerians think on Voices on the Streets.
I think road is one of the major challenges. Access road to and from the location where these properties are.
The amount these houses are being placed on, is outrageously expensive. And then when you look at these structures, they are not worth it. When you go in, you're not satisfied with the sizes of the rooms. They have very tiny rooms. There are tiny kitchens, tiny bathrooms, as in they can't even contain 2 people at once, like maybe the master's bedroom, for instance. Very tiny living room. So it's not even worth the amount. Okay, then another issue we face is the poor structures. You know, you can see a house that is, beautifully finished, but with time, they tend to wear out. Maybe during rainy season, you begin to notice that the walls are being soaked, and this affects mattresses, the clothes. And then these developers or the real estate people don't pay attention to the quality of materials they use in building these houses.
One of the observations that I make most times is the agents, because most time you may be able to raise money to get yourself a better home, but agents may also be the problems for you to get a house, because most time agents will deceive you when they don't have a particular place that you should bring a particular amount of money. After you releasing your money to them, at the end of the day, they will allocate a place that is not even good for you, and before you should discover is to be already late. So most of all these agents, they are contributing. There are problems for us to get in a better home. I think I would opinion that if government can provide an agency, that all these agents should duly register with such agency, you understand? So if there is any challenge, you can easily allocate them, you can easily trace them. Because a lot of agents has run away with people money in the course of helping people to get a better home. And another challenge is infrastructural, bad roads. There are some places that the place that they will locate to you, the road is very bad. And most times there is no electricity. There are a lot of places that there is no light. There is no light. You may like the place because of maybe the place is affordable. But if you talk about infrastructure, there is no light. And when there is no light, it makes life very, very difficult to people. And it also warrants theft.
First and foremost, you face the issue of the developer buying cheap materials. As a result, these materials don't last. Sometimes you discover that the paints or the bricks they use, they are cheap, very, very low quality base. So you end up spending so much and getting very little in return. Then another issue you face is sometimes the houses are built on flooded areas. During the dry season, you will not know that the place is flooded. It's when the rain season now comes, you now discover that that place was a very, very bad idea. Then the standard of the house. Maybe you discover you are used to big rooms. You discover that the place that have been built for you, the house is rather too small and the rooms are too small, and they are not the ideal kind of rooms that you would like to have.
One is the road network. 2, the purchasing power of owning a house in Nigeria in these present realities. When I said about the purchasing power, the naira rate, the value of a naira is not as powerful as it is like 8-10 years ago. So now by the time you check maybe before what you earn in a month and your mortgage, growing back then, I knew of I think Nigeria Mortgage Bank, giving loans for houses, and many of the workers, both in private and the public sectors, many of them don't have access to this loan. Even if they want to have access, there are a lot of bureaucratic neck bottlenecks for you to have access. So I think that's another major challenges.
First, I'm going to start from the builders using low quality materials to build their houses, because most times they just go for cheap materials to build the houses. They don't use superior materials that will last long. So that's one of the problems. Another one is bad road network. You may want a house in a particular area, and then the road that leads to that area is so bad. So that could be a problem. And the developers, most times, they don't wish to construct the road that leads to the area where they want to build. So there are many interests just to build the house for people to buy. They don't consider how good the road is to the place where the houses are. Then another thing is flexible payment method. I don't know how that works, but I feel that the mode of payment should be made more flexible, where people can pay, instrumentally.
Timberlock wood preservative surpasses all preventive measures designed to permanently prevent the damage and quality reduction of wood and wood-based materials by termites, fungi, bacteria, and other boring insects. Use Timberlock Premium Wood Preservative to prevent, correct, and defend wood and wood materials against deformities caused by termites and other insects in the later days. Timberlock is designed to solve wood preservation challenges with a standard you can trust. Timberlock Wood Preservative kills termites instantly. Timberlock Wood Preservative, the wood preservative brand leader in Africa.
Voices on the street there. Everyone has priorities when buying a house. For some, is the location, size of the rooms, while others, access road, exterior finishing of the building is so very important. The list goes on. I'll be back in a moment.
Over the time, we have built expertise and reputations. And as part of our contribution to contribute to reducing the housing deficit in Nigeria, we feel by building cities, affordable housing will actually help Nigerians to actually secure houses that are standard, that are green, that can also make them feel or have the taste of Brents and Hammers.
The payment plan, your initial payment of 20%, that makes you to have a contract with us. The next installment is after 3 months. You can pay your 30%. So within that 1 year, you're making up your 100%.
Every time I go to site, I feel happy because I see we're creating employment in thousands, not just in small numbers. From the market women handling food, to suppliers on site, to the block industries, to the artisans. These are all people that you see in thousands. When you go to Bungalow City, I look around and I feel good. I know that this is part of the things that we want to do. We want to empower people, we want to train people, and we are doing that. In terms of houses, we've built 10,000 houses so far, and we plan to build 25,000 houses. So you can see we are working with organizations to reduce the housing deficit in Nigeria, also helping civil servants to secure houses, secure their future, secure their family. That's what we are doing.
Having Creating priorities when searching to buy a house is a helpful way to guide you through the process without forgetting some of the features that are important to you and your family. Without forgetting also the price of cars, very important. Decide on your budget prior to even looking at the homes. Decide what amount you can conveniently afford. On that note, I end today's episode of the program. Thanks for watching. I remain Flora Annie, your housing diva.